Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today's episode is going to cover this name, Hozan, which I have mentioned a few times in the past. This one spanning a few years ago. Their inspection mirror, precision oiler, which I just only did an unboxing of, and one of my recent unboxing videos, tool haul, was this particular item. The Z268, which I first learned from another YouTuber called Bizug. He featured this and it intrigued me, and I decided to get one. In my video, I did actuate this, and I discovered that it was rather strange, as you can tell by the sound there, of when the air comes out the nozzle, and just even looking at the hand pump there, it's not a smooth actuation compared to what I'm most used to, which are these old school hand pumps. Old school in the sense that this one is rubber body. I think it was made in India. I bought it many years ago. It's tired. Don't like using this anymore. In more recent times, I got this more modern elastomer body, or commonly known as silicone. This is way more intuitive, or what I mean by that is whatever. It's a smooth action. This sounds normal, at least for me, compared to this. Like, there's hesitation when I squeeze it. It's like double stage. There's something going on in there. I don't know if I wasn't sure when I was doing that, demoing that, whether that was normal or not. It turns out to be a built-in feature. So let's get on to that. So when I looked at their English website later, after I got this, I realized the product name, used the word compressor or compression or compressor, and this is the reason why. So I already obviously removed this once. This was a little bit tricky to remove at the beginning because they do use what appears to be like a silicone adhesive to keep that in there. And so, unveiling the internals, there are two springs. This large spring and a further very light spring pressure, which gets seated in there, and that spring is pushing this pintle here against there. So that basically prevents airflow from ejecting out the pump until you are able to overcome the spring pressure on this end. So that is the built-in mechanism in there, and that explains why I am feeling that weird pump actuation, something that I had never felt before. So I was kind of turned off by that, but now that I know the inner workings of this, I understand. Now I needed to understand further, more on what the purpose is behind that. Like, why is it that they have a anti-backflow valve in there? It makes sense in some sense, because when I've been using these guys, blowing out stuff from like a blind hole, trying to eject whatever it may be, even liquids, right? When this action is exhaust, and when you release is the intake phase. Much of it is coming from this end. Like if I plug my finger there, it's going to take, it's going to take a long time for it to basically generate the air in there. So much of it comes from this end, but it can also come in from this end. So you can inadvertently suck in fluid or dust or whatever it may be. That's where this design with the anti-backflow valve will prevent the ingestion or rather sucking in of debris, fluids, whatever it might be. Hozan is mainly geared towards, well, it's certainly not geared towards the automotive trade. So optics industry, you know, maybe camera maintenance technician, copy machine technician. Maybe there are certain areas, I guess particularly with precision stuff, where you do not want to inadvertently suck in dust particles, which you may contaminate elsewhere when you go to flow whatever something else. So I think that is the reason behind the inner workings, that feature, the anti-backflow. So it's not necessarily a high flow versus low flow. In a sense it is kind of like that, but this actuation, you're compressing the spring, so it takes more internal pressure built by the squeezing action before you're able to open that pintle. So in this high flow position, the shot of air that comes out it's like a burst of air, which is comes out at a higher velocity, if I can say so, compared to the low flow, if that makes sense. So one more thing, if you are, you know, a mobile technician, you're not going to be carrying compressed air, so this is your handy tool. Of course, you can use your mouth and blow it out that way, but you know, depending on the situation, you're going to be spitting out your own fluid, which you may not want to do for obvious reasons. So there's an area there to place it, use it as a, you know, a lanyard. This does come with this extension nozzle for getting into tight areas. So after understanding the feature of that, I can accept it for what it is. I don't know if it's going to replace this guy here, because as I will demonstrate in a moment, there is a difference in the flow. So this test rig, or this is just for visual purposes, right? To help you understand a lot better than me talking. Let me just start off with this old rubber pump, which I don't recommend you buying if you can even buy these days. The rubber is tough, so it takes a bit more strength to squeeze. If I can get that to focus. So that's just paper in there. It moves it pretty well for pump action. And this is the other model. Focus. So that moves it even more compared to the rubber one. And then I'm just going to bring out this one. This is in the high flow setting. So I think you can tell the difference there. I'll go back to this one, my favorite one, which I've had for a long time. And you can tell it certainly moves a lot more air versus the Hozan one. That's not to say that this is a bad product, right? And it's not really a fair comparison, because the internal volume is probably a little different. Visually there's a little bit of difference there, but it's namely due to that feature. So different purposes. If you wanted a precise action, maybe not necessarily a lot of airflow, then I can see where this comes into play. So I think that's enough talk about the air blower. Moving on to this precision oiler. The sticker came off some time ago, but as you can tell, it's quite small. I don't know what the capacity of that is, fluid capacity, but this comes with a really fine needle point. It does have a needle valve in there. This is a brass construction. This body here is something like polypropylene, polyethylene, something like that. This needle tip is, I think it was point 0.3? I can't remember. That's like, 10 thou. Very small point. This is in the locked position. When you want to release fluid, turn it like one turn. That's all you need. Now, if you wait it long enough, by nature of gravity, you will get fluid coming out slowly. But I'm just going to give it a little squeeze. So there you go. I'm fully released right now. I'm not squeezing at all. With gravity, that will eventually drip onto my palm. But I'm just going to give it a little squeeze to make that drip. So there you have it. Very precise areas where you just want one single droplet and nothing more. Gotta clean that, but yeah, I'll just do that. In any case, I have had this on its side for weeks, and I never had any fluid leak whatsoever, either from the tip or from the body, from the seal there. So that might be something of interest to you. A precision oiler from Hozan. And last but not least, this inspection mirror, Hozan Z355. This is made in Japan. That was the primary reason why I got this. Among other things, such as these details, it's got this little rubber friction pad. Other features are really quite unremarkable in the sense that there's nothing really too special. You can get a made in China one that's gonna do the same thing. Nothing revolutionary here, other than to say that I like the segments, the way they still move. Nothing sloppy, nothing too tight. Pretty standard here, other than the rubber pad there, which I haven't seen in other brands. The main thing here is at the time I didn't realize it at the time of purchase. It wasn't until I started using it that I realized that I didn't like the stainless steel mirror. Yes, this is not a glass mirror, but rather stainless steel. So from use, I realized that if you bump into something, it creates a lot of distortion, and that kind of quickly pissed me off. That was annoying to deal with that. So that is something for you guys to take note of. Stainless steel mirrors. They are also not scratch resistant, so they have accumulated some scratches there. So that is something for you to take note of as well. compared to glass mirrors. There are pros and cons. As you can see, the glass is chipped, so in certain work environments, not everybody is in automotive, but certain work environments you may not want to have the risk of potentially breaking the glass, and that glass breaking into work pieces which you may not want to contaminate with. So I still prefer the glass for my purposes, for my uses. The image is a lot clearer compared to a stainless steel mirror. Even though I clean it, it does not compare with a glass mirror. This particular one, by the way, is not from Hozan. It is from a Japanese name called Shinwa. Shinwa is another company. I'm not going to ramble on too much about it, but this one is made in China. Hozan makes a, I think it's a glass mirror. I'll correct you guys if it's wrong, but they do have a circular type as well. Yeah, I think that is everything. So I hope that was a little informative. Turned out to be 16 minutes, a little longer than I thought, but it's hard making short videos. In any case, I hope you guys have a good one. See you on the next video.